Trump tariff response. Rolls-Royce planning to shift production to U.S. to avoid Trump tariffs report. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Guys, I got three handful of charts I want to show you with this. That
I love charts.
Oh, let me tell you, these charts that Brandon found, I have to show you this. And credit goes to him finding these charts, but they're insane. All right, let's read this. British engineering firm Rolls-Royce is planning to boost U.S. production to dodge President Donald Trump's tariffs per London's Daily Telegraph. A source told the paper if you are making something in countries like China, then you'll be looking at whether you can do it in the U.S. instead. The company known for aerospace and defense may shift from China, Canada, Mexico, where it employs around 6,000 workers, and even from the UK and Europe if tariffs hit. A Rolls-Royce spokesperson said, "We have additional capacity with some of our U.S. operations and continuously seek to explore options to ensure that our global internal supply chain is optimized for delivery to customers in the U.S. The U.S. is vital for Rolls-Royce, making up a third of its global sales, with key clients like U.S. Department of Defense, Boeing, Lockheed Martin. Last year, it earned, $7 billion in North America versus $3.36 billion in UK and $8.4 billion in Europe. You got to realize, most people, when we think about Rolls-Royce, what do we think about? Cars.
Of course.
But that's what they're famous for making.
Oh, wow. That's the number one thing?
The engines they make on planes, they'll say, we have a Rolls-Royce engine on a plane.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
That's
but
sick.
we think about the cars.
Engines for warplanes.
Yeah,
These aren't just
Tom,
engines.
There's a couple other stories, but I'll just turn it over to you. Tom, your thoughts on this here?
Well, first of all, this is a sign that the tariffs are working.
Bingo.
So we're trying to get it balanced. And Rolls-Royce says, I'll tell you what, I ship a lot of engines to the Department of Defense, and they ship key clients like Boeing and Lockheed. Oh, those are engines going to our defense contractors. And Lockheed Martin, don't forget Martin. And so tariffs are working. And what's also interesting related to this is if you take a look, there's also a Wall Street Journal report. Now, this was Breitbart. And then there was an FT story. Then there was a Wall Street Journal story. So everybody's saying the same things. And no one wants to say the simple headline, tariffs are working. Now, Wall Street Journal being very negative. The biggest auto losers in Trump's trade war so far, luxury brands. And they go on to say that the BMW 3 Series, blah, 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 blah. And they put all these stats out of poor BMW. And then, Audi's Q5 SUV, poor Audi. Wait a minute. What German car maker is left out of that list? We got BMW, we got Audi. Where's Mercedes? I'll tell you where Mercedes is. You know where Mercedes is? They're in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where they invested in the U.S. years ago, and they build the GLE, the GLS, GLE, and all of their electric vehicles, the EQS and EQE. It's their number one factory in the world outside of the core factory they have in Germany. And 60% of what they make in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, is exported around the world with 16,000 American jobs. So guess what? The tariffs are working. And somebody like Mercedes is like, well, I've been here forever. This really doesn't bother me because I've been employing American workers and I'm exporting Mercedes around the world. And so what Rolls-Royce is doing is great, and that's the proper response to say, look, our customers over in the U.S., why don't we make our stuff there? And everything else. The tariffs are working, and look at the jobs that are coming, and look at how the products are reacting. And by the way, guess what? If that BMW 3 Series is $10,000 more expensive, guess what? Mercedes is happy to sell you a C.
Oh, wow. And just because you mentioned Boeing package, obviously you guys you have your thoughts. Trump just awarded Boeing, because you talked about it, to develop U.S. Air Force's next generation fighter jet, the F-47, which will replace the F-22 Raptor. The deal is $20 billion. It just happened.
That plane is a beast.
That thing is ridiculous.
That plane will
Look at that thing. Like, damn.
It will own the skies.
Okay, so let me show you something here, which is something for everybody to think about when it comes down to this. Rob, I'm going to text this to you. If you can please pull up this file. Oh, you have it already?
Yes.
Okay, can you go all the way to the top? Go all the way to the top, the main chart. So check this out. This is China's, close it up, Rob. Don't show the bottom one, just show the top one. Yeah, that one right there. Watch this. This is manufacturing, global manufacturing 2000. Look where we were at. 25% of global manufacturing came through us. Look who was second. You got the bottom left, MBA, 21%. Then you have UMC. Is that UMC or UMIC? Okay. Then you got Japan, 11%, Germany, 8%, And then you have China at what percent? 6%.
Yeah.
What happens in 2001? China gets welcomed to join the World Trade Organization, okay? And that's December 11 of 01. So here we go. Manufacturing. Now we're going to go to China. No problem. Go to the next chart, Rob. Then look what happens.
Jeez.
2030. 45% of manufacturing goes to them. Look where we are. 11%. Can you go back up and see where we were and they were? We were at 25%. This is jobs in the U.S. China was 6%. China goes to 45%. We drop to 11%. 11% is where it goes to. Now, this is what's very important about this. By the way, Japan drops to 5%. I think they were at 11% if you go a little bit higher. Yeah, Japan was at 11%. They dropped to 5%. China takes everyone's lunch. Can you go back to the top? So here's what they
Germany
did.
lost half too.
They took us. They took Japan. They took Germany. They took they're at 45%. Now, who paid a price for this? Go a little bit lower by states. Michigan. Go a little bit lower, Rob. Watch this. This is Michigan. Look at 2001 when we joined the World Trade Organization. What happens to manufacturing jobs in Michigan? Boom. Drops. How bad? Not a slight drop. Look where it was at in the thousands on the left, 80,000 persons on the left. It drops to what? Less than 20,000 just 7 years later when you see that 2008, 2009. Go to the next state. Go to the next state. Ohio, look at 2001, drops. Go to the next state, Rob. You got Pennsylvania, steel, 2001. Look where they're at. Look at the immediate drop-off of what they have and where they're at today. Go to the next state. These are all jobs that Indiana. Look at how steep this one is. Jeez. Indiana loses their job. Boom, crashes all the way down. Go to the next one, Rob. Illinois. Here's Illinois for you from 2001. Drops. Clinton started this initiative early on, and then it took him 10 or 15 years to finally get it finalized. 10 years to get it finalized. I want to say something like that. 8 years to get it finalized. You got Carolina. Go to the next one, Carolina. Look at this one here. Keep going next, Rob. Go to the next one. South Carolina. Look at this one. How obvious and evident is it? And I'll tell you why. Go to Wisconsin. These are all people that had jobs. Go to New York. These are all people that had jobs. California. Do you know what happened when that took place? Look at California's, by the way, Vinny. Look at California's drop. When we allowed China to join the World Trade Organization. So now the question becomes what? The question is what? Why did this happen? You know why? You know what labor was in China at that time per hour? Do you know what it was?
Nothing.
50 cents per hour.
Yeah. Slave labor.
Of course.
Slaves.
50 cents per hour. So allowing China to join the World Trade Organization, who did it help?
China.
No. Of course, China. But who else did it help?
It also helped us because we get way cheaper goods.
Who did it help in America, though?
Walmart.
It helped the rich. Because the rich got richer. It allowed the rich to say, why am I hiring people in America? Let me send these jobs off to what?
Overseas.
To China, overseas, somewhere else, 50 cents. And do you know for the first time in the last 2 years, minimum wage for low-wage employees is now lower in Mexico than it was in China by 50 cents. By 50 cents it's lower. So that's why China is building their car manufacturing in Mexico called the Hafusan, right? But if you look at China, they're paying 50 cents per labor. Rich gets richer. Poor gets poorer. These jobs leave America. And you know what these tariffs are now doing? You know what these tariffs are now doing? These tariffs are now forcing people to bring those jobs back to America.
Good.
One by one by one. We made China a behemoth, allowing them to join the World Trade Organization, knowing companies were hiring slave labor for 50, 70 cents an hour, while those jobs are 10, 15, 20 bucks an hour in America. That's how all these jobs were lost. So for the people that are bitching and whining about tariffs, be patient. You want those jobs coming back. The rich got richer, trust me. I'm a beneficiary of it. The rich got richer in a very big way. What happened to our middle class since 2001? Well, what was the average median income in 2001? How different is it compared to today? Can you go and look it up, Rob? Median income in 2001. What was the median income in 2001? Median income 2001, 42,000. Go look at what it is today. So that's 42,000 24 years ago. Just put 2025. What is it now? 25 years later, it's not even doubled. It's gone up 80%. Okay, go to 2021 and type in who was the richest man in 2001. Who was the richest man in 2001? What was it? How much billion?
Bill Gates.
58 billion?
Wow.
Who's the richest man today, Rob?
Still Elon, unless
What is the number?
Some in
unless they
Saudi
burnt more
Arabia.
Teslas down.
Is he the richest man?
$350 billion. So the wealth 7x'd, but the median income only went up 80%. Why? It's cheaper labor in China. Well, it's basic mathematics. So this whole conversation with tariffs, when people start panicking and trying to use fear porn and all this other stuff, and then you bring it down and you realize what he's doing is causing companies to say, I'm going to bring those jobs to America, like this UAE saying $1.4 trillion investment in the States. Like, you're hearing Saudi, $600 billion. Like like Hyundai, like Rolls-Royce, like all these guys saying we're going to bring it here. They're helping Americans, and every American should be happy about it. That includes Democrats, but unfortunately, they want to see a failed administration, and it's just working.
No wonder why. I mean, like when you break it down like this much detail, no wonder why China hates and hated Trump so much that in 2020, I believe that they unleashed COVID because they wanted to keep that guy out of the office because he's doing exactly what the hell you're talking about right now, putting America first. That's it. That's like it's not. And by the way, and they're so powerful. Besides building, buying up all the land near our military bases and flying balloons everywhere, you still can't say definitively China released COVID. You still can't say it.
Don't say it.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable.
It was a bat.
But think about it. When it comes to that, when it comes to that, when it comes to this serious amount of money and power, now it makes complete sense, Tom. Don't you think?
You know what's really interesting to me on all this? I'm not ready to go there and say that China,
I'm there.
that China intentionally released the virus and it wasn't just like a boondoggle and then denied and everything. I'm not quite there that it was intentional trying to unseat Trump. But I'll tell you what's very interesting. Hyundai, and you saw yesterday, announced as part of this, he said, we had a conversation that started in 2019 with Trump. And we wanted to bring a steel plant to Louisiana and then use the steel there to make cars and put some Hyundai auto factories here. In 2019, it didn't happen. And it's 2025. Chairman Lee-Sung Chung has come back to President Trump. So what happened between 2019 and 2025?
COVID.
Yeah.
No, think about also who was president.
Right.
There was a deal on the table from Hyundai that says, I'll make jobs for you and I'll put a steel factory
What's
there.
this here, Rob?
And I'll use the steel to make my cars.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is CNBC this morning, 3:04 a.m. They reported on the Hyundai deal, the $20 billion investment into the United States.
Go for it.
South Korean auto giant Hyundai will announce a $20 billion investment in the United States when its chairman visits the White House today. Sources say that pledge includes $5 billion set for a steel plant in Louisiana with plans to hire 1,500 employees and produce next-generation steel for Hyundai and Kia cars. That move comes after similar investment commitments from SoftBank and chipmaker Taiwan Semiconductor earlier this year.
Ronald Reagan said about tariffs years ago? Have you seen that clip?
No.
Have you seen the Ronald Reagan clip on tariffs?
What did he say?
Rob, if you can find this, there's a clip of Ronald Reagan on tariffs. And let me see where this is. Humberto, guys in the back, if you know, I just watched this video yesterday. That's not the one. Let me see. Anyways, they'll send it to you. Let me see how it explains it. No, it's a different one that he has. But look, here's the reality of it. If the jobs are being forced to come back to the States, their jobs are being forced to come back to the States.
Good.
And Americans should want that. And America helped China become a behemoth after the deal, and the data now proves it. And those jobs were taken from many states that a lot of people relied on, and that destroyed a lot of people's lives. It just did. Made the rich richer, but it hurt a lot of people's lives. Adam, go for it.
I think Trump is doing what he should be doing. I'm adamant that I think he needs to do a better job marketing what he's doing, because people are very confused. Markets have been confused, with the one word we heard coming out of, Wall Street and the big banks is clarity. Let's just get clear on this. There's a lot of confusion in the marketplace. So he's very good at marketing. He's very good at slogans. Lock her up, drain the swamp, build the wall. Come up with a slogan to summarize why you're doing this. Because You know, there's a term called inside baseball. You ever heard that term?
Of course.
Pat, you know, you might have, been familiar with a thing or two since you're part of the Yankees. Inside baseball is like, dude, you're being a little too technical. Tom, you might have heard this before. So some people need sort of a bigger, grandiose, sort of easier to digest, simple, effective slogan. So like, here's a couple suggestions for Trump to maybe roll out what you're doing with tariffs. Let me know what you guys think. You ready? So make America great again, right? So here we go. Fair trade now. Not bad. Could be a thing. Stop trade cheaters. Came up with that. 3 words. Here we go.
Is this actually serious?
Boost American businesses.
Okay.
All right. Makes sense. Strength through trade. Shout out to Ronald Reagan right here.
Ronnie.
Peace through strength. Balanced trade deficits. I don't know, guys. Give your suggestions, but Trump needs to do a better job marketing and have a better slogan.
I don't know if you're
My
getting
opinion.
a job anytime soon.
I don't think Trump.
Listen.
Maybe you're going to be the marketing guy.
I don't think so, but there have been, you read the headlines from Wall Street and you get one story, and they like to spin it. We've been talking about that. But below the headlines, you find out, guess what? The markets are nervous during the reaction phase, but things are happening for the good. That's the message. The markets are nervous and they're bouncing around because they're on sentiment. Oh, is tomorrow going to rain or not going to rain? I don't know. And so the markets bounce up and down because what's happening on the markets? Traders, speculators, and they're all trying to make a buck. And they think so when they hear comments that they don't know how to process, they push markets into motion by making big trades, puts, and that's what's going on. But you just hang tight because good things are happening, and every day you can take a look at the people that are reacting to the tariffs, and they're doing the things that exactly what is good long term.
All right, I get a lot of questions about people telling me, Pat, I'm at a point in my life where, I just can't find myself to get to the next level. My life is good, my wife is good, my family is good, my this is good, but I'm just having a hard time getting out of bed. I'm having a hard time being fired up. I'm having a hard time identifying what I need to do next. And I tell them, every single one of them, I said, get off this Manect, go order the book, Choose Your Enemies Wisely, read it, Manect me back when you finish the book. You'll see why. The book was specifically written. When I wrote this book, I wrote it because over the years I've done a lot of business plans for a lot of different people, and I noticed there's 12 blocks that you need. 6 of them are emotional blocks, and 6 of them are logical blocks. Most people do business plan with only one or the other. It's either only focus on emotions, dreams, why? It's either only focus on logic. This book breaks down all the 12. If you've not yet read it, this is the National Reading Month. Place the order, sign copy, and if you order it now, I believe the first 100 are getting these Choose Your Enemy Wisely custom mug that'll be sent to you as well, on top of the free bookmarks of Choose Your Enemies Wisely that'll come your way as well. Place the order, Choose Your Enemies Wisely, signed copies on vtmerch.com. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.